Our story begins here, on a night of ill omen, as the people of Weepstone have been called to the tavern for reasons unknown.
Good people of Weepstone, I've summoned you here to discuss a matter of grave importance. My brother and your lord, Byron, has fallen ill. He is rarely conscious. His nights are fraught with fevered dreams and terrible nightmares. The healers know not what ails him. In his half-waking state, he mumbles incoherently of Weepstone Keep, the castle that our father built, our childhood home. I can only hope that it is there where answers may lie. Are there any among you willing to delve into that forsaken place to find the source of Byron's torment? I will not lie. There is undoubtedly great danger waiting for any who venture there, in the form of both man and beast. While the keep and its contents have been forbidden since our exile, I hereby decree that any brave enough to take on this task may enter, explore, and importantly, keep what they may find within its walls. Who among you will take up this duty? I need 6 volunteers. Please, I would rather not have my hand forced to choose.
It is beyond me to make this choice. This path has already been chosen for me.
Okay. What's the key?
I said I would stick to plows and horseshoes. But I still know how to swing a hammer. I'll go.
I'll go. I'm not as young as I once was, but maybe my years at the keep will be of some help.
Where you go, I go. I love. You know that.
I'll go. I'm not as young as I once was, but maybe my years at the keep will be of some help.
Where you go, I go. I love. You know that.
And so the unlikely party set out for the keep, arriving at the gates just as the evening light began to fail. One can only assume the formidable visage on this statue is Rahl himself. There seems to be something missing from this statue's hand, as though it's meant to grip an object. This door is wedged shut by the damp and refuses to open despite your best efforts. Your weapons and inexperience do little to harm the stout door. A foul odor pervades this place, a smell so heinous it is beyond description. A sitting board runs the length of the far wall with 3 openings. Despite the buzzing flies, you hear the faintest sound of rushing water that seems to be coming from the farthest hole. Your guts roil, your eyes water. Whatever faith you have is tested by the putrid fumes that waft from this unholy maw. Shockingly, the latrine is not only quite full, but its contents are surprisingly fresh. A glint of gold sits just out of reach, atop the muck. You sift blindly through horrors within, and to your surprise, you retrieve what feels like a ring. You emerge from the hole, smelling foul and feeling quite ill. Let us see if you are poisoned. Let's just say that you're poisoned. As you approach the middle latrine, you are blasted by an odor beyond words. You have no choice but to back away. Peering into the opening shows a drop that leads out of sight and into absolute darkness, farther than any sane person would attempt to climb, unless, of course, they wished for certain death. You hear the sound of rushing water coming from below. The party calls down in desperation, but they receive no reply. This door is wedged shut by the damp and refuses to open despite your best efforts. Though humble, these quarters were clearly reserved for a captain or leader of the keep's guard. The contents of this room appear mostly untouched over the years, as various papers and a book sit undisturbed upon a wooden desk.
My thoughts of late are greatly troubled, and my faith in our Lord falters. That priestess, Loronya, and her jealously guarded activities beneath the keep bring me great concern. if the captain of his lord's guard is not permitted to venture below to the Undercroft, one can only imagine why.
Spartan beds and matching foot chests hint at this room's use as a barrack of some kind. The ravages of looters and time have been unkind, leaving it in shambles. A makeshift structure built from bed frames dominates the rear of the chamber. The sound of small boots disturbs the quiet of the room as small figures burst forth from the haphazard barricade. They brandish crude weapons and seem particularly intent on defending their hideout. A grinding noise, followed by the sound of metal scraping on stone, echoes from deep within the keep. This door is not locked, but it refuses all attempts to open it. No discernible sounds come from beyond the door. You attack the door, but fail to cause any significant damage. The party lifts with their combined might, but can do little to move the steel portcullis. There must be another way. This stately but smaller hall seems to have served as a gallery of sorts. Crumbled detritus of carved busts and toppled plinths lie in shambles across the floor. The only remnants that hint at the original grandeur of this place are the large tapestries that still hang on the opposing walls, dominating the space. Before you spans a great mural dominating the entire stretch of wall. A man, most likely Rahl himself, sits astride his great warhorse. He brandishes an outstretched sword at the body of a fallen foe, flanked by his imposing host. Depicted in the mural that spans the length of this side of the hall is the silhouette of a man standing in front of what looks like a calm pool of water. Though at first it appears to be merely a pool in a cavern, the exacting geometric carvings that decorate the hewn stone walls are of unsettling design. The smith's quarters are Spartan and humble, but must have once been a comfortable respite from the heat and ringing of the forge after a long day's labors.
Oh, I'm a daft, blasted idiot. I just can't seem to keep my head on straight anymore these days. 1. Forge the armory keep for the 3rd time this year. 2. Finish up Loronya's set of fancy daggers. 3. Ask the apothecary about these blasted nightmares.
The large forge at the center of this room seems long dormant, but the smell of coke and coal still permeates every inch. Crates, barrels, and scattered ashes are scant reminders that this was once the beating heart of the keep. You lean in, lighting the forge with your torch. It is indeed lit, but only just. The forge begins heating up as you pump the bellows, but the embers remain quite cold. As more air pumps into the forge, you begin feeling some heat. The forge is as hot as it's going to get. The heat feels good in this cold, forgotten place. As the ingot begins to melt, the steel slowly oozes into the mold. After a few minutes, the newly forged key is just barely cool enough to handle. A filthy, disheveled man holding a knife cowers in the corner while eyeing you cautiously. Makeshift bedding and various personal effects lie in disarray. The smell is pungent.
What are you lot doing in here? Curse that place and everyone in it. Like them bastards were more than happy to see the back of Old Creek. Other than all the creatures who want me dead, nothing in particular. No. Sure. If you'll, have Old Creek.
This door is locked and won't budge. You hear a soft chittering, followed by the clatter of metal on stone. Your entrance startles the large, scuttling creature that seems to have been nibbling on what remains of an axe blade. It rears up in surprise, emitting an eerie, chittering noise. The earthy smell of rusting metal and leather gone to rot fill this chamber that clearly once served as an armory. Moldering armor and rusting weapons sit in chaotic piles, strewn without care and long forgotten. These weapons have been corroded beyond use by the Iron Belly's fetid bile. A grinding noise, followed by the sound of metal scraping on stone, echoes from deep within the keep. One can only assume the formidable visage on this statue is Rahl himself. The scepter snaps into place with a satisfying click. A large, barren courtyard opens before you, complete with mature trees and cobblestone walkways. As you cross the threshold, a sprinkling of pebbles and dust rain down from above. From atop the towering walls surrounding the courtyard, a group of screeching kobolds vault the parapets and descend upon you. Despite your best efforts, the door refuses to budge. Despite your best efforts, the door refuses to budge.
Whew. You there? Who are you that dares enter this sacred place? Are you now? That would be quite the surprise. I would see you clearer. Come closer. Now. It would be rude to not introduce myself to guests. I am Loronya, the ever-faithful. You say you've come on behalf of Byron. How does he fare? Still a craven, I presume? How tragic. Maybe he'll pull through. I know of ways to end his suffering. Let me show you. I must have misinterpreted the omens. Today, he calls for me. It matters not. I am only a servant in his grand designs. It has already begun.
And with that, the spark of life fades from the mad priestess, leaving behind naught but a dead-eyed rictus. Nestled in the shadow of its imposing, now abandoned keep, sits the dwindling riverside village of Weepstone. But things were not always so. For in times gone by, a man from the east, known only as Raal, grew to power, waging a relentless campaign westward. After crossing the mountains into the kingdom of Talesworth, he established his seat of power and constructed a stronghold from which to oversee his lands. He called this stronghold Weepstone Keep. Many wondered what compelled this mysterious and seemingly unstoppable warrior to end his bloody campaign in this place. But the years were good to Weepstone and its people, their harvests unfailingly robust, and their industries the envy of neighbors both near and far. However, Raal would not live forever, and upon his death, his lands passed to his eldest son, Byron, and thus began the troubled times. Long past are the seasons of plenty for Weepstone and its people, whose fields now sit barren, the people forsaken by the good fortunes they once took for granted. To the astonishment of many, Byron abandoned Weepstone Keep for a modest manor on a hill near the town, and forbade anyone to return to its halls. Now the town barely survives, mostly as an unwelcome stop along a trade route used by merchants too impatient to travel the hospitable roads of the south. Only the trapped or the desperate continue to call this bleak place their home.